Hey everybody, I'm Taylor Jefferson. I'm the principal broker and owner of Jefferson Grove Real Estate here in Richmond, Virginia. And in this video today, I'm going to go over the listing agreement. And so that way you'll know exactly what you're signing before you sign it. Always a good idea. Before we get started, do me a favor, hit the like button on this video and click subscribe to our channel. I really appreciate you supporting us, but let's just jump right in. Right up top, you have the brokerage information listed, including the broker's name. Section 1 states that you, the owners, give the broker the right to sell the property under the conditions set forth in the rest of this listing agreement. Section 2 is where you'll put any personal property that you want to have convey along with the house. Now, it's important to know what's listed here does not supersede the purchase contract. So if there's a conflict between what's listed on the listing agreement versus what's put in the purchase contract takes precedence. So be sure to read the purchase contract when you sign, because if there's something you didn't want conveying, but the buyers put it in there and you signed, guess what's conveying now? Section 3 is where you put the price you wish to list your home at and any other terms or incentives you want to offer. Section 4 states that the listing information will be placed into the local MLS. And it's a reminder there saying that if you don't put it in MLS, you could be hurting the potential sale of your home. Section 5 is where you put the total commission to be paid to the listing broker, either in terms of percent of price or a flat fee. Below there, it also states the percent or flat fee that will be shared with the cooperating buyer broker, if applicable. Don't worry, that is not an extra fee. It's just saying how it's split. Section 6 is where you, the owner, either consent to dual agency or designated agency, either or. We do not practice dual agency, and here's why. A dual agency means that you're representing both the buyer and the seller. And in reality, that means you're representing no one. You can't give advice to either side. Now, designated agency is where two different agents from the same brokerage represent the opposite parties in the transaction. So one agent represents the seller and the other agent represents the buyer. This is really common, especially with large brokerages that have many, many agents. Section 7 would be checked if your home is in an HOA, and it allows your listing agent to order the HOA resale packet. Section 8 is the same thing, but for condos. Section 9 is very important. It discusses the syndication of the information from MLS to other third-party content and media. Have your agent thoroughly discuss the cons of not allowing syndication to these other third-party companies, because it will drastically limit the exposure that your home gets. Section 10 is where you give the broker permission and control over the listing content, the photos, the video, the words used, etc. Section 11 is where you can authorize the use of a lockbox or not, as well as if you want the termite inspector to have access to the house via the lockbox as well. Now, these lockboxes that we use here in Richmond are Bluetooth operated, and we've got logs of who accessed the property and at what time. So Section 12 is residential property disclosure acknowledgement. And if you don't sign one and don't have one uploaded, but one is supposed to have been there, one is required, and it's not shared with the purchaser could possibly walk away. So it's very important that you sign all the necessary paperwork. Section 13 is the lead-based paint paragraph, and it will be checked and applicable if your home is built before 1978. And you'll also be signing a lead-based paint disclosure information sheet and share that with the buyer. Section 14 is if your home is on septic or not, and if it is on septic, what type, are there any waivers associated with it? Is it alternative? Is there a maintenance agreement? All of the good information to have if you're on septic. Section 15 is just a reminder that if you'd like to get a home warranty, they're available to you, and now is a good time to do so. So Section 16 is a disclosure about recordings within the property, both by the buyer and by you, the seller. So if you have security equipment, surveillance equipment, cameras that are on, it's absolutely best. Do not share any video recorded, do not post it anywhere, and also be aware that purchasers might take video while inside your home. And if there's anything you don't want displayed online, make sure you take it out of the house prior to listing. Section 17 states that if you sell the property to anyone that your listing broker procured during the listing agreement, you could owe a commission up until a certain time frame thereafter, and that's where that blank will be filled out. 18 is just a blank section in case there are any extra terms that are needed to be added in. And then Section 19 is quite large. It's just like 24, the purchase agreement, where it lists all the standard provisions and different rules and things that apply or that are set forth in this agreement. So we'll go over them real quick. 19A is just fair housing, stating that we're not going to discriminate. 19B, your listing broker can help a purchaser fill out a purchase contract if they want to go unrepresented. as well as 19B states that a listing broker will submit all offers to you regardless. We are required to submit and provide every offer we receive on your property. 19C is a reminder that this is a listing agreement, nothing else. It cannot be misconstrued as an offer to buy your home. 19D is if you remove the property from the market without telling your broker, the broker could be due the full commission. So it's best to talk to your broker before you do anything like that. 19E is if a buyer backs out of the purchase agreement without a contractual means to do so, meaning they default, that the broker will not request you to pay a commission, but rather they could go after the purchaser if the purchaser defaults, but not you. That risk is not on the seller. 19F, you'll allow for sale signs and you'll be reasonably accommodating with showing request. 19G is you will give the purchaser free and clear title. An attorney can help you with that. 19H, you will hold harmless your broker in the event of any vandalism or theft that happens while the property is on the market. Section 20, reminder that it's a legal agreement, and if you don't understand what you're signing, to seek guidance before you sign it. And then Section 21 authorizes the use of electronic signatures. That's pretty much it. That's the listing agreement in a nutshell, and I really appreciate you taking the time to watch the video. Now you'll be more prepared and you'll know exactly what you're signing before you sign it. As mentioned before, be sure to know the purchase agreement takes precedent and supersedes the listing agreement. Whatever's in the purchase contract goes, even if it conflicts with the listing agreement. So be sure to read over the purchase agreement that you sign at time of contract. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch the video. Thanks for being here. Be sure to subscribe to our channel and I'll see you next time. Thanks so much.